And I'm going to show you a short video here, okay, and then we'll get into the trumpet judgments, because this is still, we're still here in the beginning, okay, of the tribulation period. Now, let me see how easy this is going to be to switch on here.
Asteroids hitting planets is something many of us have heard about and seen in artist pictures. Thankfully, we've not experienced it yet. An asteroid, or an object near the Earth, is called a near-Earth object, or NEO for short. The NEOs we're most concerned with are the ones which can do damage to the Earth. Just how many near-Earth objects exist, and when they could strike the Earth, is not really known. The possibility of an asteroid hitting the Earth became very real in July 1994. In that year, the world witnessed something never before seen. The most devastating explosion ever witnessed in the solar system. An asteroid named Shoemaker-Levy 9 was headed straight toward the planet Jupiter. The comet's first pass split it into 20 pieces. Now all those pieces were colliding straight into the planet Jupiter. This is actual footage of the impact. This is the first time we witnessed a collision of this magnitude in our solar system. This blast cloud was as large as our planet. Watching a planet pummeled by asteroids was history in the making. Not since the invention of the telescope 400 years ago have we witnessed such an event. Observers all over the world became aware of how vulnerable the Earth is to such an attack. This asteroid attack was in full view of the Earth. We came to the realization, if it could happen there, it could happen here. Asteroids became a top government priority. All eyes turned to the asteroid belt. Chunks and blocks of rocks and metal, which orbit between the planets Mars and Jupiter. These massive space rocks quietly circulate as they have since the creation of the solar system. Most are harmless and will not hit the Earth. However, occasionally they collide, sending pieces spinning out of orbit at 13 miles per second. At that speed, an asteroid a half-mile wide could hit the Earth with 20 times the power of all nuclear weapons on the planet. The big question was, were there any of these killer asteroids headed our way? After a decade of searching and several false alarms, scientists found an asteroid headed toward Earth. The name? 1950 DA. 1950 DA is scheduled to strike the Earth or come very close in the year 2880. It would release an enormous amount of energy, at least 100,000 megatons. The asteroid is 2 kilometers across. 800 years might seem a far way off. The problem is, asteroid hunters estimate there could be 600 undiscovered asteroids just like 1950 DA. 1950 DA is an example of destructive forces lurking in space, unknown to the Earth's inhabitants. How would such an impact affect the Earth? The power of even a small asteroid was demonstrated in 1908 in Tunguska, Siberia. On June 30th, 1908, a meteorite, a smaller asteroid, thought to be about 120 feet across, entered the atmosphere over Siberia. It is estimated that it traveled at 35,000 miles per hour as it slammed into the planet. The 220 million pound space rock exploded at a height of 5 to 6 miles above the Earth. The rock was annihilated. The blast was the equivalent of 185 Hiroshima bombs going off. The area was so desolate it took 19 years for the Russians to reach the spot. This is what the site looked like 19 years after the impact. It is estimated over 80 million trees were knocked down. Over 830 square miles of vegetation were destroyed. The question is, will this happen again? According to the Bible, it will. One of the judgments on the earth in the book of Revelation involves an asteroid striking the sea. This would unleash a huge tsunami along the coastlines. Revelation chapter 8 even uses the word aster to describe the event, the same word for asteroid.
Well, guess what? The Bible says it's going to happen. And it actually uses, in the book of Revelation, the word asteroid. Okay? So, they're, just like they said, there's 600 or 700. They might not, I mean, that's according to their estimation. They don't even know what's out there. They just found one that's moving towards the earth. But if we go, because in Revelation chapter 6, when the seventh seal was opened, there was silence in heaven for a half hour. And after the seventh seal was opened, there were 7 angels that came forward with trumpets. And these 7 angels, when they blew their trumpets, events took place on the earth. Now, I think it's pretty interesting that if you go into Revelation chapters 8 and 9, the first of the 4 trumpets all deal with environmental issues. Okay? For example, if you've seen some of the bumper stickers that are popular, it's like love your mother, the earth. You know, it's the idea that the earth is our mother. The earth is our God. Okay, and so we see the first of the 4 judgments, the first of the 4 trumpet judgments, when the angel comes forward and blows his trumpet, are judgments on the physical earth that we think that we can save. I mean, one of the ironies I see of the environmental movement is that we're so aggressive to save the earth from pollution, from earthly pollution. But we have no concern about moral pollution. And God says, you expect me to let you live in a pristine earth and do all the sins you want, and you don't think that I'm going to judge you? God poured out fire on the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. The Bible says God's going to judge. Now, all these are interesting, and when the 5th seal is open, this is where God begins to pour out His judgment on the earth, because His people are being persecuted. So when the first trumpet is sounded, okay, there's hail and fire and blood that falls upon the earth. And what happens is the earth is burnt. 1/3 of the trees and all grass on the earth is burnt. Again, this is 1/3, okay? So that means 2/3 are left. Then when the second trumpet is sounded, a great mountain burning, a great burning mountain hits the earth and causes 1/3 of the ships and 1/3 of sea life to die. So basically it's describing an asteroid that strikes the sea, and the impact upon the sea kills 1/3 of the life in the sea and 1/3 of the ships. So you can imagine the tsunami that hit in the east, okay? Imagine a tidal wave hitting the earth, and this is what's described. Then the actual word when the 3rd angel sounds his trumpet, what we see next is the actual word aster is used. That's where we get the word asteroid or star in the Greek, okay? Aster. We see an asteroid hit the earth, and 1/3 of the springs and 1/3 of the rivers, the fresh water of the pristine earth, becomes poisonous. And then, for example, like a lot of the asteroids that are out there. Now, as it described, there's an asteroid belt. And a lot of these asteroids, we don't know what's composed, and we don't know of the radioactive components and the things that they've been through it when they strike the earth, and when they break up over the earth, how they pollute the waters, for example. What's going to happen? It says, according to this, 1/3 of the fresh water is going to be polluted, undrinkable. Then what we see happening when the 4th angel comes forth with its trumpet, 1/3 of the sky is darkened. pretty much describing what would happen as a result of volcanic activity. Remember, we had an earthquake on the sixth seal, the volcanic activity. The clouds would unleash, for example, when Mount St. Helens erupted. It was during the middle of the day. It was pitch dark. If you were there, it was pitch dark. It was dark, even though it was the middle of the day. And according to this, 1/3 of the sky is going to be darkened. So this is the first 4 of the trumpet judgments.